Hi, I'm Tom Doyle, Associate Professor of Justice and Interim Director of the Fox Rothschild Center for Law and Society here at Community College of Philadelphia. Welcome to our Perspective series on CCP TV, the educational channel of Community College of Philadelphia. In this episode, Adjunct Professor David Travaskis interviews Carlos Jackson. Mr. Jackson, Director of Public Relations of the Philadelphia Traffic Court, discusses motor vehicle and bicycle safety, traffic court and police procedures, as well as a court program for schools designed to raise awareness of the role of safe driving. Please enjoy what I'm sure you will find to be a very interesting and informative conversation.
Welcome to the Fox Rothschild Center for Law and Society's Perspective series on CCP TV, the educational channel of the Community College of Philadelphia. I'm David Travaskis, Adjunct Professor in the Paralegal Studies program. Today, it's my pleasure to introduce our distinguished guest, Carlos Jackson, who is the Public Relations Manager of the Philadelphia Traffic Court. Carlos, thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I'm sure people laugh at you when you say you're the Public Relations Director of the Traffic Court. Traffic court is one place where we really probably do need a Public Relations Director. But what do you do? What do you do?
Well, actually, the public relations as far as with traffic court is that we go out and reach out to the children and the kids in the elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools. So what we try to do is educate everybody about traffic court. So many people out here have traffic violations, or they don't want to come into the vicinity to see how to handle their own business because they're afraid traffic court going to lock them up. So we try to, Judge Glazer came, actually our administrative judge came and put this program in so we can be more accessible to the people.
So you actually have a strong educational component of what you do. And you said you reach out to children, elementary school and high school. Now the high school kids may be driving. The elementary school kids aren't driving. So what's the purpose there?
Well, the purpose is children are like sponges, of course. You can tell them something and they can hold on to it forever. So it's like a seed, planting a flower. When you grow a flower, you got to plant the seed first. So we feel like if you reach out to them and tell them now to ask questions, they'll ask more questions than grown-ups do. So we tend to like to reach out to the kids, and then they have no problem telling their parents something wrong when they're driving and doing something they shouldn't be doing, because children love to tell us when we're wrong.
I have grandchildren and children. I do appreciate that. Now, this public educational outreach, is it only for kids, or do you guys do something for adults as well?
We also do things for adults. We've been to American Red Cross. We reach out to people in shelters, churches, wherever they accept us at, so they can educate their people on what we have to do to have a better driving record outside, making sure everybody take care of their business and can drive legally.
Here
and
in
that's our
Philadelphia.
main purpose. Right.
Well, and why don't you talk a little bit, because obviously I know about traffic court. Sadly, I know about traffic court from some personal experiences where I've been in and paid my fines. But not everybody watching us probably has a true understanding of traffic court. Is this where I go to pay my parking tickets?
Not at all. And everyone makes this mistake. I didn't answer that question in more than half. Parking authority is a different entity. They're just parking tickets, parking violations. Traffic court is moving violations. So that would consist of running stop signs, red lights, suspended registrations, things of that nature. But parking authority also does red light tickets with the camera tickets they have, the camera ones they have on the boulevard on Route 1. They, if you run the light, they can snap a picture of your license plate and send you a ticket for running a red light, but they cannot assess points because they don't know who's driving.
Oh, okay. So
Right.
Everything you're dealing with are the kinds of moving violations that a police officer would have had to write up a ticket and hand me the ticket.
Exactly.
Okay. So now, you've been at traffic court now for a little more than a decade, right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
What did you start out doing there, and can you take us through some of the jobs you've had at traffic court and tell us what each of those jobs entail?
Well, July 2002, I started at traffic court. I started as a customer service rep, and I was in that position for 2.5 years. And doing the customer service part is you deal with everybody from the public that comes in.
And they come in. Can you tell us where traffic court is? Not everybody knows that.
And traffic court is located at 8th and Spring Garden
And you come in right off of
on 8th Street side.
on 8th Street side.
Yes.
You come in, and basically you're directed to what you started out. You're directed to a customer
Yes.
service representative who basically takes your ticket, tells you what's going on, and directs you to where you need to go, right?
Yes, and we'll help you with any situation you have, as far as if you need a court date, if you need a payment plan. Most of the people, if you owe a ticket or you didn't pay it and you're in default, they have to come in to get a payment plan just to get the warrant lifted off their name.
Okay. Now, warrant is actually the next job you went to. You were a warrant officer for the traffic court, weren't you?
Yes, it was.
And what does that entail? That sounds very much like being a police officer and breaking down doors and doing those kind of things.
A little bit, a little bit. We used to get up 4:30 in the morning, and we would call it a sweep. And we would get up everybody that owes 500 or more. We would go out to their house and knock on their door, and if they were there, we'd present them the warrant and take them in and bring them to traffic court so they can get in front of a hearing judge. We also put warrant notices on people's doors, 48-hour warrant notices, just to let them know we're giving you an opportunity to come down to traffic court to handle your own business before we give you a ride.
But actually, if I don't pay my tickets for traffic court, these moving violations, I can actually get arrested by a warrant officer from your court.
Yes, because then you'll be, and if the officer catch you out in the street, you'll be scofflaw. And that means you owe the traffic court a certain amount of money and you're in default status and you're still driving behind the wheel.
Okay. What's the biggest scaffold you ever caught? What was the most somebody owed that you
16,000.
went out? 16,000. That's more than a
16,000.
couple tickets, isn't it?
Yes, that is. That's an accumulated amount of tickets that someone obviously don't care if they get caught or not. And that's why now the law has been very hard on, as far as the scofflaw has been tremendously a good thing for traffic court, because now if you buy a new car, if you get a car and you think you're going to drive it, they're going to take it from you. And that's an embarrassing situation to be driving on a date, going anywhere, and you don't have your car to go back home to because you got caught driving without your license.
Now, we've probably scared some people at home who just got a ticket last weekend or something. We're not talking about that person who hasn't yet gotten a notice from the court or about a court date or anything like that. We're not talking about people who just have a single ticket and are waiting to go to court, right?
No, no. We always talk about people that already been down to traffic court, that owe us and decided they're not coming back to traffic court and they're not going to pay the courts nothing. So the courts had to come up with something to get that money back into the court system.
And it sounds like they're doing a good job. Now, your next position in traffic court actually was to create a program to help go after those kinds of people who owed money. And
Right.
can you tell us about that program?
We started a pilot program was called AutoView, and we was the original, traffic court was the original that started that program. We went out, the system is set with vehicle codes and people things that's on other people's registration, or if they owe tickets and they didn't come, because it was easy for you to owe traffic court and we couldn't catch you. Then parking authority, of course, that sends people out every morning to catch you and read your tags. So we came up with a system where the actual van has a scanner on top and will scan thousands of tags a day. 4,000 tags a day I used to scan. And anything come up traffic court, we will get you booted also. So right now today, if parking authority run into a traffic court situation, they will boot you also for us.
And this is still going on in the city, but you said now parking authority is doing it, not the traffic court.
Yes.
And this kind of thing. It sounds like you guys are pretty serious about getting the money and getting the collections. I know traffic court involves a lot of people. It's the largest court in terms of our citizens getting involved in the court system. You're more likely to have a problem that takes you to traffic court than any of our other courts in the city. But it sounds like if you don't take care of it, things are going to be rough for you.
Right, exactly.
Now, you had mentioned earlier in our interview Judge Gary Glazer. Judge Glazer came over from the Court of Common Pleas as the new administrative judge to run the courts.
Yes.
And he did that because there have been some problems in traffic court. I guess in your role, you get to ask a lot of questions about that.
Yes.
But what has the judge been doing mostly to try to clean up those problems in terms of your role with this public education? Is this an idea you had or an idea the judge had? And how do you think it's working?
Was actually I did a judge have. You know, he wanted to put a good light back on traffic court because we kind of had a dark cloud over us recently. So the judge really wants to bring a better light on traffic court and clean it up. You know, make it look like, people understand we're not trying to hurt you. We're not trying to get you. The judge wants everybody to be comfortable. Like, listen, we got to do this together. So we'll help you come down here and educate you how to handle your situations. And the program was just a blessing for us, the children, especially the high school kids, because they are starting to get their driver's license, their permits. And a lot of times we was going out to the schools and the kids were asking us questions that grown-ups don't even ask. They was asking about bikes, because people don't know you can get ticket for a bike like you was in a car.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, so if I'm, let's say, and this is not me, but let's say I had like a drunk driving conviction. I can't drive my car, so I decide to take my bike to the bar. If I'm driving drunk on my bike, they can stop me for that and give me a ticket?
I'm not sure, but they can't give you, like, if you always see bikes going against the traffic.
I know that.
Riding on the pavements when they're supposed to be on the street, you can get a ticket, a moving violators ticket, and get sent down to traffic court. It's just most of the time Philadelphia seems like they're not enforcing that law as much.
And this is all things that have to be enforced by the police, right?
Yes.
Now, so you're in these schools doing these programs. You said one of the questions they ask you is things about bikes and stuff. What are some of the other questions you get from the kids?
The kids are the best. They will ask us, oh, well, they asking about phones, cell phones. Can you text or drive? My mother do it all the time.
And what is the law for our people watching at home?
Well, there's no texting and driving. If you get caught texting while you're driving, the police officer can pull you over and give you a moving violation ticket. So.
And what about talking? Can I be on my cell phone holding it up talking?
No, we can't be on the cell phones. Now, hands-free, of course, that's fine. As long as you're not physically holding the cell phone in your hand, because you don't have proper time to stop, make a turn with the cell phone in your hand.
So the kids ask you that question and they say,
yes.
Of course my mommy does it. That's funny.
Right.
What other kinds of questions come up?
They also asked us about distracted driving. We was talking about distracted driving, and that's what came with the cell phones. And we also, Judge Glazer had us laughing as far as told the kids, we can't put no makeup on while we're driving. And we was talking to the ladies, said ladies you can't be stopping at the red light fixing your eyeliner, or and tell the guys, drive straight ahead. I know the young lady look pretty, but you got to pay attention to what's in front of you. So they was actually excellent. The high school kids are excellent. 9th to 12th graders, they have great minds and they know. So I always tell them, I said, well, now that I know you know, now the big thing about it is that when you tell them, they'll tell their friends or they'll tell others. So when they see you do something wrong, now you're not supposed to do that, because the people from traffic court came down and talked to us. So it works out,
So this educational program is really, in a way, a driver's safety that also ties into how it works for the court.
Yes, exactly.
If somebody watching wanted to bring that to their kid's school, or is a teacher who could ask to bring it to their school, how would they go about doing that?
They would contact the administrative office at traffic court, and then we would schedule a time that we could come out and talk to their children.
Okay, and how many of these do you do? Like one a week, one a month?
Usually 3 a week.
3 a week?
3 a week. Mm-hmm.
So you guys are busy with this.
Yes.
And you said the judge asks questions. Do judges come out to these programs as well?
Yes. I can think of a time when I went out in Germantown and Judge Glazer came, and he loves it. He loves it. So at the end of the seminar, we explain everything, and then we always open the door for questions, and they love to ask the judge everything.
What do they ask the judge?
The judge is going to lock me up if I get a parking ticket or a moving violation, and then he'll just laugh and say, no, that's why we came here. We're trying to prevent that.
Okay.
So.
That's funny, though, with the judges. Now, these programs, you have a team that goes out and does it. So you're part of the team for every one of these presentations?
Actually, I am the one. I'm the guy.
So
I take care of all that.
They would see you?
They would see me.
And so how long is the presentation that you would do?
Approximately 45 minutes long.
So why don't you walk us through what one of these programs would look like? Because I bet there's people watching this who probably would have questions themselves, and they can't call you up and ask you now, but maybe if you can answer some of the questions in advance. So how does it start? You walk into a classroom. Let's say we're at one of our area high schools. We walk into the high school, introduce, this is Mr. Carlos Jackson from Traffic Court. So the floor is yours. What are you going to start off with?
And I let them know I'm here strictly to help them and show them a better way of driving and a know-how. And then we would have a screen up and let them know, show a PowerPoint and explain, it might start off with car crashes. So I let them know how serious we are. We don't want them to get hurt, and take driving as a privilege, you know, and you got to take care of it. It's a great responsibility, and being behind that vehicle is just more than just driving and going. You have to pay attention because one mistake could happen and you could injure yourself or injure someone else. So we strictly try to force that issue so they know that driving is serious. Take it serious, and it's a privilege. You don't have to have this privilege. And
That privilege can be taken away
That's
if you
right.
don't use it. Okay. And then, so you've done that presentation, that part of the presentation.
Right.
What else are you trying to educate them about?
The basics: run the red lights, stop signs, failure to pay insurance if you don't have insurance.
Well, let's talk about that insurance. Everybody has to be insured to drive in Philadelphia, right?
Correct.
But I've read studies which say upwards of 60% of the people in the city either don't have insurance or don't have it current, it's lapsed,
Right.
they don't have what they're supposed to have. Can I get a ticket for not having insurance?
Yes, you can. If you get caught driving without insurance, that's a 3-month suspension if you found guilty to that citation. So anytime you out there driving with no insurance, and then also your registration can be suspended because of lapse of insurance, which will also cost you another 3 months. So that's 6 months without your driver's license. So it's best if you don't have insurance, don't drive your vehicle.
Okay. Now, what about people who just say they don't care and they're driving without insurance, but they're also driving without a license? What happens when they get stopped?
And that's what we call live stop. That's where we'll take your vehicle.
You can take my vehicle if I don't have a license?
Yes. You could physically not have your license with you, or if it's suspended. If it's not with you, then you're driving without it, and your vehicle will get taken from you.
Well, wait a minute. I'm forgetful. So you're saying I'm driving along, coming back maybe from this TV show, and I forgot to have my license today, and I get stopped because I make the wrong turn or don't pay attention to that light, and the officer says, "Where's your license?" And I feel around, I can't find it, and they could take my car?
The officer asks you for 3 things: your license, registration, and insurance. If one of those 3 are missing, they will take your vehicle.
Wow. They won't just say come down with it later?
No. Can't take that chance.
But
Anything can happen from the time you left. If I assume that you do have your license and you don't have it on you and you really didn't, and you have an accident or somebody's life got taken.
Yeah, but can't I just tell you my name and you can look up my number?
No. We can't do that because you could be anyone.
Oh, wow. Now, how often does that happen in the city?
That actually happens a lot.
It does?
We have people come down every day with no licenses, and they actually might have one, didn't have it on them while they was driving. Before you leave your home, make sure you have your driver's license in your wallet, in your pocket, but it has to be on you.
And what are the other 2 things we better make sure we have?
Your insurance paperwork
Right.
and your registration.
Okay.
Have those 3 things at all times, because if you're missing just one, they will take your vehicle.
Now, what do you tell the kids about? I'm always told that you should carry those things with you so that you don't have them in your car in case somebody stole your car and they could point those things out. What is your advice on that?
Well, most of the time the ladies keep it in their pocketbooks and the gentlemen keep it in their wallets.
Okay.
But as long as it's on you.
So you have it to go.
Right.
Now, those are some of the things that then have come out in your educational piece and come out in real life.
Yes.
What else are you going to cover with the kids? What else is important that you see on a regular basis that they want to ask about?
Well, we try to explain to them they need their driver's license because most of the time now, even getting jobs, they need their licenses. A lot of jobs now require your license, so we try to stress that they do the right thing. Take your license, get your test, so you can drive legitly, so you can get a job, you can get your car note or whatever the case. And the kids love that because they always say, well, I'm going to get me this kind of car. And I always say, well, you need this license, so get your license, then you can get the car and get the job first, then get the car.
Right.
And then, they love that. So
Now, let's take us back to traffic court.
Okay.
The people who are coming into traffic court, are they as aware as these kids are about what the rules are?
the grown-ups know, just lazy. Most of the part of the times when people don't come down to traffic court, it's just because they're lazy. Or we give them no other choice. Like you say, if they get live stop, they have to come down now and handle their situation. because you won't be able to get your car without handing your tickets first.
Okay.
So once you come down, it's going to be a long day. You have to take care of all your whole situation in one day.
And let's talk about the actual physical court for a bit, because you've done a lot of different jobs in there. You really have had every job except maybe being the judge and
Right.
itself. And we're going to talk about how somebody gets to be a traffic court judge before we're done today. But I do want to ask you, now I've come in, I had a ticket. Hopefully I didn't do a live stop and lost my car. I just have a ticket. I come in, I've got a hearing today. What's going to happen? Am I going to be, if it says you've got a hearing at 9 o'clock, am I going to see somebody at 9 o'clock, or am I going to sit around all day waiting until they call me?
What happens is when you receive a ticket by the officer, they'll give you a court date.
Right.
Now, your job from then is to let traffic court know that you're coming to that court date by responding, either A, in the mail or coming down physically. When you come on your court date, everyone has a 9 o'clock a.m. court time, so it's first come, first serve in that order. And then the judge will be out at 9 o'clock, and then they'll hear all your cases.
So what time does court open up?
Our building open up at 8:30.
Okay, so if I'm there first in line at 8:30, I'm probably going to be first in line when I go before the
As long as
judge.
you're first in your courtroom, yes.
Okay, that's true. Don't get stuck in the bathroom worrying about other
And
stuff.
10 other people when in court.
Okay, so those things go. Now, if I do my hearing at court and I get a fine, do I pay my fine right then and there at the courthouse?
You
What
can.
happens?
If you're found guilty and the judge tell you pay your fine, you can go out right in the hall and pay at the cashier's booth. If you find not guilty, then you'll receive your paperwork saying you're not guilty and you can leave.
Okay. What if I can't pay today?
They'll put you on a payment plan.
And
And then that day, if you come in on your court day, it could be today's date, the 4th, for every 4th of the month, you would pay your payment plan, or the judge could tell you zero down a day in 30 days, paid in full.
so the judge will work with you on this?
Yes.
What about the question people always have is, should I have a lawyer when I go to traffic court?
Well, you can handle it yourself, but some situations could be reckless driving, could be careless driving, and you might feel comfortable with an attorney. And that's always a smart move also, if you would like,
Okay.
you know.
So let's now talk a little bit about judges. We've got judges in traffic court. They don't have to be a lawyer to be a judge in traffic court, right?
No, you're an elected official.
Elected, and we elect them when we elect all our other judges for our other
Yes.
courts every 2 years.
Yes.
And what are your qualifications? Do you have to be a certain age? Do you have to have a certain education?
No, you should have a high school diploma.
High
You have
school
a high
diploma?
school diploma. That's it.
Okay.
And you can run for traffic court judge.
Now, you've been working in traffic court a long time. Who are the best judges? I mean, I know we've got some judges in traffic court who are lawyers, and we've got some who are community people who just decided to run. Is there a certain background that makes you a better judge for traffic court?
Well, as far as my knowledge of it, when you get elected, they also send you to Harrisburg to get training. So all of them that went, as far as I was ever concerned, I've been there. They all been good judges. They went to school, got the proper training, and they came back and they served the community.
Okay, now do you ever think yourself about running for judge? You know all this stuff. You're out there teaching the public about it. Is that something that might be in your future to run for judge?
Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't thought about it, actually.
And we're not starting your campaign today,
Right.
so don't worry about that. Now, I wanted to talk for a minute about the little kids, because you do this class for small children in elementary school, right?
Right.
What's the youngest class you would go into? If I'm a
Sixth.
kindergarten class, can I get you?
No.
No.
6th grade.
6th grade.
Right.
So, and if I'm teaching a 6th grade class, are you doing the same program for me in 6th grade that you're doing for my high school seniors in another school? Or is it?
Yes, it's the exact same thing. They picking up fast as they are. They're all on the same plane. The only time we actually change is for the adults.
Okay, so but you do this same program for adults when you go to the churches and things.
Right.
And how would you change it for the adults?
Well, as far as we let them know, we always are very direct far as they can't drive, they're going to get livestock, they need to take care because officially they have a warrant in their name, and it's a traffic warrant. So we try to let the adults know that's a serious. It's still a warrant in your name, and you have to come down and respond to your tickets. And half the time you find out that the adults, they're really afraid to come down. And you would think it would be more the children, but it's more the adults that's afraid to come down, or just the fact they didn't want to take care of it. Then also some situations, people not working. So it's making things a little harder for them to even keep up with a payment plan that every time they break may cost them more in penalties and fines. So we try to, this time to come down, we try our best, to work with them or come down and let the judge know that they're not employed at the time.
Okay, and if I lost my job and I was in the middle of a payment plan, will a judge work with me on that if I let him know?
Well, you can come down and ask for an extension, and the judge know your problem, or if you can prove that you're not working, always have to have paperwork to prove anything you can say down at traffic court. So if you're not working and you lost your job, you started off and you had a payment plan and you're working, then all of a sudden you're not, then you come down and let the courts know, and then they'll take it from there.
Okay. What are the most important things that people watching us today should know about traffic court? If you had a couple minutes just to talk directly to the people watching us, what are the things they need to know? I mean, I've been listening here about Live Stop. I didn't know anything about Live Stop.
Right.
I was thinking, since I have a license, I don't have to worry about that. So now I'm going to be more careful about carrying that. But what are the real important things people should know about traffic court in terms of the average citizen of Philadelphia?
Listen, when you come down to traffic court, I always like to tell people, listen, you come down there, you take care of your business. It's like paying your credit card. You got to pay the minimum. Come down, start a payment plan. Listen, traffic court is not out to hurt you. We're actually trying to help you. Despite history or what's going on, there's actually good, honest people that work down there to try to make sure your life is better out here when you're driving. So we're not all out to get you. We're thankful that Judge Glazer came down and he's really putting a good positive aspect on traffic court now. So in return, we're reaching out to the people, and you can reach back and we will help you.
Okay, that's good to know. And that's a great message for us to share with our audience. Now, do you have the number for administrative court if people want to get the program, the educational program? Is there a specific number to call?
Yes, they can call. They can call area code 267-423-5207. And that actually line will reach out to me, Carlos Jackson.
Do you want to say that again just one more time for us?
267-423-5207.
Okay. And Carlos, they'd get to see you. They know not to be scared of you, and they know to
Right.
make sure they don't mess up when they're driving around the city.
Right. Basically, we just want to let all the people that's listening know that we're here to help, and we're stressing that. And Gary Glazer is also stressing that we're here to help you, and everyone at traffic court is not out to hurt you. Once again, so I can reiterate that so the people know. We want you to have your license. It's not the point that we don't want you to have it. We're trying to help you get it. And first of all, first thing you have to do is make a responsible choice. And your license is a responsible choice. So you have to make a decision that, all right, let me take care of my business, and know that your children are also watching you. So whatever you do reflects on them. So they'll know, look, I got to take it, Dad. I'm going to do what you did. I'm going to go down traffic court. Mom, I'm going to go down traffic court and handle my own business. And you'd be surprised it'll have that kind of effect on people, just taking care of your own business as a man or as a woman. So we're here to help, and we're here to serve.
Okay, I think that's really a great message about traffic court, because I think all the publicity that anybody watching this show sees about traffic court is all the problems with traffic court. They read about judges who've been making deals with people. They read about employees who are trying to cut edges for folks. They hear about a lot of people who are going to traffic court with their hat in hand hoping for some sort of deal. And what you're presenting is, one, they're not going to get a deal like that.
Exactly.
But two, that doesn't mean that you can't work out something with people that will work for them and work for the traffic court.
Yes, and we'll take care of you. We're just not fixing anything, so we're not doing that. All right.
That's important. Nobody should be calling you saying, can you fix my
No,
ticket?
not at all. Not at all. Honesty is the best policy.
Now you're going, okay. All right, well, that's all the time we have for today. I want to thank my guest, Carlos Jackson from the Philadelphia Traffic Court, for joining us today. And I want to thank all of you watching at home for tuning in. You've been watching the Fox Rothschild Center for Law and Society's Perspective series on CCP TV, the educational channel of the Community College of Philadelphia. I'm David Travaskis, adjunct professor in the Paralegal Studies program. For more information, contact us at the college, and we'll see you next time on CCP TV.
Thank you.